Okay. Well, that being said, sometimes you just gotta do a fade to black, but the other way around, Michael. Right? So you just go like, "Ooh, ha! Where was I? Here I am."
Because you know that
I
fade to black
did.
is much faster. So
I did, but we are going to be preparing to get in game where people are going to be headshotted. And right now, it's all about forZe and their map pick on Mirage as they're looking to go into the good old-fashioned B apartments hit. As it's going to be going in, shaping out. Kragan's got to come through, put up a defense, misses out on the first opportunity, but Queenix makes up for that. And already 2 players lost, make it 3 for forZe. And Jerry the only one to respond as he moves to a smoke, gives himself an opportunity to keep on fighting. There's another player inside the smokes. They will end up losing a few more duels. Jerry left in a 1-on-2 without the bomb. Or really much HP to speak of. Question is, can he actually close the distance between these players? He's not checking out for them. They think he's on the back of the bomb side as well. He's trying to blend in with the CTs. I am one of you. You are one of me.
they were both convinced that they were going to be coming from market in one capacity or another, so they were a little surprised that Jerry was just chilling at bench. I'm surprised Jerry even got one more kill there. He went in with like 20 HP into the arms of 2 ECSTATIC players, but none of them could hit a shot. Still, good defense from ECSTATIC, dealing with the initial aggression, and then the pace was simply lost out of the B pursuit. A strange round, but one that ECSTATIC will happily take. They need to be able to bounce back from what was honestly quite a poor performance. I won't pretend like I've watched much of the ECSTATIC Anubis, but I don't imagine that's very indicative of how they themselves would want to approach that map. Weren't successful in a lot of their trades. They would sometimes find entries, but at heavy costs. Mirage, you cannot have those kinds of spacing errors occur.
Or if you don't want to just chalk it down to, oh, it was a learning experience, guys, in the end. The ultimate copium.
Yeah, these guys are already in Pro League, so...
Yeah.
Surely you should be winning then. There's less at stake for them.
Max is playing a very aggressive angle forward. This flashbang in is actually going to end up blinding out every single T-star player. Max is ready and waiting. Cabby's flash is perfectly timed. And, well, only one of his bullets is perfectly placed. There's some good trades coming out, and Jerry's still got a chance with a picked up MP9. He brings it back to a 2-on-2. And once again, these CTs are not going to be anywhere nearby where they can actually come through and try and deny this bomb plant. So already one of their main objectives has been accomplished. Jerry's going to be able to keep on pressuring down his flared out CT. Knows there's a play coming in from nearby. Kragan reveals his position, and Jerry's just going to try and fight back, take the more passive position. Zorte, good for one. Jerry, good for the second. This guy is doing it all.
Yeah, crazy stuff from Jerry, but it does feel like we're about to enter a bit of an extended pause. So great stuff, but we're going to have to see how these rounds conclude after the break.
All right, there we go. We've handled business. We've tinkered, we've tottered, and we are trotting back over. forZe just finished off taking out a nice little half-buy round. Well, force-buy, technically. And a lot of it courtesy of Mr. J himself.
Yeah, Big Jerry. I mean, they say Big Jerry, but he is up to no good. He's a tricky man, darting in and out of smokes and then finding perfect timings on trades. Not much will get past him, and he'll even try and act as entry in this round. Result will actually push the full, but not accounting for Sandwich, and so Jerry hits the deck. Manx as well will swing out wide, and they are losing numbers nice and quick. Shalfie, 1-on-3, now thrust upon him, and they've got access to the bomb and weapons to recover.
Shalfie spotted out as well at this point, so they know exactly where he is. Lots of steps made as well, and as he moves back, at least will turn into a 1-on-2, but the issue is that Manx has recovered an AK, so... one hedge... Yo, it's so consistent and so smooth, right? I know it's something you should expect from everyone, but it's just... always love to see it. Regardless, Cabby, however, will shut it down, so... pretty jumps or not. That's not a very pretty round coming up from them. Just walking into the stack, Deagles galore. Result peeking out that early on is slightly interesting. However, you don't typically expect the Palace player to be swinging out that wide so early on without any utility or anyone sort of scaling with it to try and fight, unless they're scaling it across CT. So, interesting.
Yeah, I think jumping the gun a little early, considering Jerry's confidence coming out ramp, maybe sort of spurring him on. We'll see another force buy here from forZe. This time ECSTATIC being a little bit more proactive in their setup. Cabby trying to hold the underpass. Salazar holding top mid to cover his back. No aggression will come from the T side in that direction. Instead, they're posturing for a B side play, which means Queenix will be under the knife.
Jerry is going to be the one wielding the knife. Kraken, however, wants to take it away from his hands. Queenix also just trying to keep himself alive. The MP9 close range will be able to dominate Crash down. Jerry, however, comes up with a 1-2 punch straight to the head of Kraken, and a re-navigation from Queenix is going to give him a lot more space. Tries to increase the distance, give himself a better chance in that duel, and he will come out on top as a result of it. So back to a 2-on-4. Galil recovered for Shalfie, as it seems like the force by shenanigans will be coming to a halt.
Uh-oh, that's awkward timing there for Shalfie. Just about to swing into CT and finally spotted out Cabby. Zorte does at least have confirmation of exactly where Cabby is, but can make no noise descending out from the window room.
Shalfie is buying some time, and he has to hightail it back to the B-bomb site. Look, if Zorte is able to get the kill onto Queenix, who is on 76, right? So that's a one-headshot territory for the B250. You take him down, the remaining players are so far away. Queenix has to stay alive, and this could work out for Zorte. He's been fully silent as he moves forward. All he has to do is clear at the back of the bomb site. Queenix, however, is so damn aware. The likely pathing that could be followed through, and Shalfie is no longer a good time. Probably want to die here, to be honest, but he decides to save the Galil instead.
Yeah, it feels like he got a call from beyond the grave to simply save. And he will oblige. Basically, if that kill comes in, he gets to the bomb site in the nick of time to get it planted. And because he had to meet some resistance, just not feasible for him to go out in that manner. Like you said, would at least put the money in a comparable spot with his teammates. Do wonder as well what it's going to mean for how this round plays out and what they want to do with it. Tech9 will be given to Jerry. That's been doing a great job on getting these entry kills, must say.
They've heard Kraken's footsteps, so they know he's quite aggressively postured. Should realize that the ladder room is an option, which he will be exercising in. But the problem is Cabby in from Connector is just decimating them. No chances whatsoever of actually scaling into the bomb site. Shalfie with a quiet boost up will actually find one more, though. So back to a 2-on-2. Suddenly, things getting a lot more dangerous. Jerry with a double.
Yeah, Jerry just doesn't miss. I mean, all he had to work with was that Tech9 that was recovered from Shalfie in the round prior. Salazar does deal with Shalfie, so now it's Jerry's unarmored body that stands between them and a round win. Nade as well will soften him up.
Oh, look at how scared they are.
One-shot headshot. Yeah, they're giving Jerry a lot of respect.
Look, the man is deserving of it, but pulls out the Tech 9, close range. The scout will not be able to take him down. Remember, it's a headshot that is needed. He's realized this, so now it's all about the one duel he needs to isolate early on, and he needs to choose soon, right? The scout's nearby. He does get tagged up, down to 3 HP, but it still gets the frag. And now it's all about staying alive, but he's going to make a lot of noise, trying to come through. Queenix on the other side does have a kit. Jerry's made so much noise. He's made so much space. Queenix doesn't realize what's going on. Jerry just needs to knife him in the back. Even the guy on Jerry. The quad, he didn't even have armor.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what is possessing this man right now. He's calling, but is it for himself? How is he finding so much success in these rounds where he has no right winning them? I mean, the shenanigans started as early as the pistol round when he dove through a smoke into 2 CTs and still got away with the kill, and then somehow vanished as far as the information went for ECSTATIC. This man is elusive and lethal.
And Jerry... God. I don't even know how to say it.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we compare this to earlier forZes, you know, the earlier version with Kenzie and Norway, you know, we were very fixated on them as, you know, fragging power, you know, same with Shalfie, to be quite honest. And you think you've still got Zorte on this team, you've still got Shalfie on this team, you've got Krad as a new addition. And, hell, Resalt's been doing some solid work. You know, you're not expecting Jerry to take control like this, but doesn't seem like he's let off the gas from Ancient. Or Anubis, sorry.
Electronic, you might want to take some notes about being a fragging IGL over here. Because this guy is hearing it up.
Don't know if you'll get the Blade seal of approval.
Probably not, but hey. Doesn't matter when you're getting rounds like that. Manx, good for one, traded out. Result as well, just able to move back in, and Shalfie's been left on the lurk.
Trying to do what damage he can. Flash was well timed. Queenix could have been another victim of this Shalfie lurk. Instead, he simply cuts off the options. Understands exactly where these ECSTATIC players are shoveled off to save these weapons. And what a save it would be. Salazar's AWP has significant value, as does Cabby's FAMAS. Wouldn't exactly be able to get the best of buys going into the next round, but way better than they would be able to afford otherwise. Just nice pace, nice and smooth into the B bomb site. Found the easy trade via Zorte. And then Result just had to hit a simple headshot. Made sure to clear all the close angles so that these pistols can get away with too much. That is our round equalizer. 3-3 apiece now for forZe. And right on the precipice of ECSTATIC running low on funds. They have to really consider what their options are going to be here. Not exactly the most amount of loss bonus built up to justify too much of an investment in this round if they were going to buy in the next. But they've saved some weapons over, so again, there's that argument to be made. Is it worth putting your eggs in this basket and hoping that Salazar's AWP or Cabby's FAMAS can find something? Might just have them stack one side of the map, and if they choose the wrong site, then, well, you just try and get what you can with the USPs.
It would be tragic. Well, and I pointed out that in Anubis, it did sometimes feel like, hey, maybe, you know, that youth, that mental strength, the ability to make a play and everything can look like it's missing at times on that map in particular. But God, right now, I can't even blame them if something like that ends up happening.
Yeah, they're getting beat down by one of the vets.
Salazar and Zorte do try it out some blows, but at the end of it all, there's a lot more where that came from on forZe's side. The problem is the bomb's been given up, so they have to move back and try and fight in, and AWP recovered for Kraken as well. So there's actually a real chance of being able to get something out of this if Queenix is able to get some sick taps. That's a difficult requirement to fulfill, but it is one that he will have to go for, right? He's not got Kevlar. And sure, Jerry might have done a lot in a round where he was in a similar predicament. But for now, forZe are struggling to figure out what pathing they need to opt in for to try and recover that bomb.
Results cleared so much. This is going to alleviate a lot of pressure from the apartments. Uh-oh, timing awkward. Smoke just deployed, and they get the kill onto Queenix. Without that armor, the AWP can only find one before traded. And that looks far more awkward than I was expecting it to. They made a good adaptation moving away from those top mid boxes, because given how quickly this round sort of dove into chaos here for forZe, it was very likely they had a Molotov as well, so they could easily flush out those top mid boxes had there been heavier presence in middle. Very visible discomfort, and they can't reposition that bomb to their suiting. They have to try and guard it as best they can, or even give it up. You know, that was another option that was certainly feasible. You saw how slow forZe were in terms of re-clearing that area. If they were somehow able to slip the net, you know, dive back through T-spawn, re-navigate to B or something of the sort, there was a potential world we could have lived in where ECSTATIC get the better read. But hard to make arguments for that when all these forZe players are unknown. They could still be left on lurks. They could be anywhere. So just stuck with what they knew. Of course, them not investing around those saved weapons doesn't mean that they can afford a buy into this next round. And hell, if they can find as much success as they did just on that round prior with limited weaponry, then this next buy could prove to be even more fruitful.
If only Counter-Strike quite worked that way, right?
Sometimes it's a
Did a
slow
lot with the low blind. Oh. Cabby, good for one while it's fully flashed. The problem is he doesn't actually get unflashed in time. Kragnon gets a nade kill somewhere in the middle of it all. But unfortunately, in the meanwhile, the A bomb site's been fully vacated, and the bomb can start to make its way over. Krad, as deeply positioned as the jungler as he is, seems like it's unlikely that to even try and go for this. But ECSTATIC, they make the attempt, and they miss out on saving 2 weapons.
Yeah, Kraken was cut off from the action. Nade was good, but that's about all she wrote. These kills came in too quick. forZe weren't fooling around with this mid-control. Gone to the floor very quickly and into the face of Cabby. One isn't going to quite cut it. Not from a critical spot like that. Connector is one of the high traffic areas as far as where you want to put your star players is concerned. And Cabby had, I mean, it wasn't somebody that I sort of mentioned in our post-game, but definitely was still fragging with the ECSTATIC side in terms of getting impact on some of the rounds that they won on Anubis. Probably one of the main people we'll look to as well in terms of, you know, high ceiling star powers. If they're, you know, it's hard to really say for the ECSTATIC guys, because it does feel like a win by community with this squad. But Cabby can certainly take control on games to a certain extent. Not visible just yet, but that's because he's having to compete with older man Jerry.
Big shoes to fill.
Guy's smart and sharp.
God, he's the perfect man. And a dad.
Gives great interviews.
That is true. I really appreciate that about him. Zorte on the fadeaway, just being careful that he doesn't get overrun by a deagle or anything like it. Doesn't realize it's an M4A1 on the other side of things, but I don't think that would really change his decision to retreat all too much. Result has to be careful. That CSGO around in close range angles can make things very, very difficult, and forZe don't want to end up losing out to another half by over here. CZ, there you have it. Close range angles. Jerry will suffer. A fate that he was really hoping not to. Molotov is well placed, but Zorte there pinning him down. He pulls out the Glock instead. Manx has got another. In the meanwhile, the CZ continues to rain down havoc. Even an AK being recovered. It's pulled out of Krad and will connect onto Queenix, and that does free up the B bomb site. There is still Shalfie, who's going to be able to try and come through on that late lurk to try and flank them out. There's a lot of time available for them to work around with. Krad just has to keep himself alive. Flashbang to the feet of the door player. Krad is doing a lot more than just keeping himself alive. He's also trying to negate that possibility for Kragan. 1-on-3 with the flank coming in from behind. Good for the first. The AWP is still up top, and Shalfie will finish him off. 6-3. Scary moments, courtesy of Manx, but even so, they do manage to keep it all together.
Yeah, the other vet that we certainly look to on this team for just great experience and great, cool, level-headed decision-making is Krad, and he does exactly that. I mean, how composed can you be when things are going so terribly wrong on your A-side pursuit, if not for Krad's efforts, and just the fact that he's able to just take each of those fights on his own terms, really, really cleverly played. Simple in execution, but gotta maintain that cool composure for the rest of the squad. Nice double peek in from ECSTATIC to kick off this round. Aggression over towards A ramp, just as that Molotov came to its embers. In Palace, Cabby tried to take that fight, and there has been some variance in success in terms of who comes out ahead in the Palace phase. This time, not with Zorte's AWP. Still 3-on-3 though, and cutting off the bomb. Max gets confirmation on where the package is.
You also heard the AWP actually coming back in from Palace, so he's got more and more information. The only thing they've got to be worried about is Shalfie, who has always found a timing to try and lurk in from connector. Maybe Salazar was trying to turn back to look for exactly that, but yeah, that's a long barrel poking your nose around with. Zorte, however, can make it work.
Just on the money. So aware of the fact that that was a vulnerability with how much volume he was basically emitting from Palace, coming back to go and retrieve that bomb. Presence of mind is certainly still there. Krag will go for a slightly off-axis triple plant, but flank is coming in from ramp. Could get a free kill, and Krad was certainly looking for it, but Queenix doubled headshot. No chance for there for Krad, but confirmation on where Queenix is last located. The nade is a sitter. He's even just fumbling nades himself. Shalfie finding, again, another timing to exploit. 7th round here for forZe. And a nice adaptation, all in all, from ECSTATIC, but once they got that opening pick, they weren't just satisfied with the kill at ramp. They decided to go pushing elsewhere. Push in Palace, get punished. Push through the connector smoke. And Shalfie's there with open arms.
Top time for ECSTATIC. Right, they're finding some key kills, they're finding some key frags, and they get to the mid-round where it feels like, okay, both teams are bruised, both teams are slightly broken, and let's see what goes on from here. Unfortunately, bruised and broken is sort of forZe's middle lanes, both of them. Because they just fight back like they're a partnered animal from there. Alright, that's... Yeah. Really had to wonder what exactly was going on in the family.
Well, here's that man. Jerry up the connector, and this time did have support with Zorte at his backside. I'm sure he didn't get caught from Cat. Flank can go down, no problems, and Jerry will find another one through the smoke. Walking around it. We're looking to be ultra competitive, but taking some casualties would have been nice. There's a shot from Queenix towards the tail end, but money is still building here for forZe as we reach the later stages of this half. I think this might be around the time we start to see Salazar be a bit more aggressive. We've seen some nice variants and setups from ECSTATIC, all things considered. You know, we were thinking about the top mid push that they orchestrated in a round where they didn't have too much. Trying to get aggressive towards A ramp, maybe something towards B as well would be warranted.
He missed the jump. Trying to play out from underneath instead. Can try and set up for a late round one way as well, but actually it's Cabby to get aggressive underneath that smoke is not going to find anything. Salazar has to trade his life away and gets another in the meanwhile. So good advantage found, but it's only temporary. Resort is down and in the building. The A-bomb site belongs to him. Now, I am sorry to let you know that, Queenix. You've got some pretty movement right there with a van jump, but it doesn't matter.
Oh my goodness. well, weren't really singing too high praises on Result. You know, doing his job, I think, was our descriptor of him on Anubis, but he goes above and beyond there. I mean, the shooting is lightning quick. Felt like he barely aimed at the stairs guy, but he was right on his head, right on the money. This is the new edition.
Listen, this is obviously very low sample size from what I'm about to say and everything, but he's really reminding me of Perfecto.
Oh, good praise.
Maybe not,
Yeah.
maybe not quite like exactly role for role, but in the sense that like, hey man, good decision making is what you generally praise about him, but there are times when you just like duck, all right? It's just you got that potential in you.
Throw him in a vacuum deathmatch type duel, and he'll sometimes surprise you.
Yeah, I'm enjoying Result so far. I think it's hard not to, in all fairness, with the way forZe has been playing so far and how much they've been able to get out of most of these players.
Don't learn the most from wins, learn the most from losses. So it'd be cool to see forZe tested and pushed to that distance, but right now ECSTATIC are not proving up to the task. 3-9, and considering the start ECSTATIC had coming into this game, it looked like there could have been, I mean, there certainly has been potential for more. Again, the heroics of Jerry earlier on in this half has certainly helped elevate the rest of the forZe squad, giving them a bit more cushion. Three players over at B. Shalfie will be left once again to his lurking role, but will try and act as a distraction. Gabby's close and around that smoke. Oh, well, ISO duel, and there is no capacity to trade that whatsoever.
God.
In fact, Kragan tried to escape. He didn't want any of that gas, and instead Shalfie just tracked him straight through that smoke. Didn't matter.
Oh, Jerry doesn't realize that he just got 43. Will still check the angle though, right? But sheesh.
Did he get 43?
Phoenix can't catch it, right? Honestly, he might not at this point.
You might have just been like, huh, there was a guy there, huh?
Maybe he didn't see me either.
Better. Yeah. Nothing evading the sight lines here, the forZe players, and really some, I mean, from a mechanics point of view, from just the shots we've seen these guys hit, forZe have looked the cleaner team as far as the aim is concerned. ECSTATIC have, I think, had a lot of right ideas in terms of how they want to vary their CT sides, how they want to approach some of the mid-rounding on T sides as well, but they have missed out on either getting trade kills or not found these clean entries like forZe have been able to do so far this series. Feels like the real discrepancy between the two so far. That's the thing, ECSTATIC, I mean, a team that, sure, is a bit loose compared to maybe earlier versions of ECSTATIC, but they certainly have, like, the tactical prowess, and I think they've shown that so far. It's just the executions have not resulted in round wins. Sometimes all the added chaos that forZe are throwing at them, you might have to throw yourself into a bit of chaos yourself. Fire with fire.
Kragan needs to get so much accomplished where he simply cannot die, and he's managed to evade capture for a while, right? But how long will that be maintained? Kragan trades out, reveals his position, gets to. Still keeps himself alive as well. Now it's all about Jerry back in market. If he can find these duels initially, catch the timing onto the offer, make sure that he's not caught off. This could be big, but Kragan's lost his life and Jerry has lost his urgency to try and go for a push early in. And when he does, he goes through for the full execution, the double guillotine coming out from Jerry himself.
Still a chance for this. Low HP on Result, and he's the one that goes to pick up the bomb, but quick switch to the orb. It doesn't matter his health. Yeah, man, it's hard to understate just how important Jerry has been so far on this T-side performance. Really solid work, especially when panic stations were raised. Kragan getting those 2 kills on short. You saw the urgency there from Result to retake it. And you could have seen a world as well where Jerry peels away from his position to try and put more emphasis on short just to guarantee that that one defender that's close by is dealt with. But Jerry had his eyes on the prize the whole time.
Jerry's gonna be careful. There's two. Okay. That's a bit tough even for him. Cabby's found one in the meanwhile through the one-way smoke that he set up for himself. Some spray damage back, and Krad will be able to overwhelm. They have to be careful about Kraken back in short, though. Kraken unable to stop them from proceeding through. Result wins that duel 9 times out of 8, it seems like.
Looking like this could be a 12-3 deep flash, but not going to blind up all the players for as long as they were hoping. Result falls victim quick. Krad as well trying to close this lurk.
Right timing on the flashbangs, going to set Krad up for just a straight one-on-one with Manx as well, as the remaining 2 players are blind, and then he tries to turn back and play into connector. Zorte collects. Zorte will continue. 12-3 forZe seal the half. Is there anything that ECSTATIC can do in the second? Let's find out after a short break. It's a tough pill to swallow, and it's an even tougher pill to die on. ECSTATIC so far have been choosing that second option. The question is, can they maybe just get it down and get it through in the second half and turn it around in time? This round's going to be highly indicative of that fact. Jerry takes the lead, will be going down initially, and that's Krad missing out on quite a few shots. A waterfall from Palace has really paid off, and Krad, the only one to find a kill, has basically given up the round at this point, unless there's some sort of heroics between Result and Chalfie.
Well, Kraken gets caught quick switching, so that's a free enough kill there for Shalfie. Just jumping around the corner, and eventually Cabby does track down the kill. We saw it trying to close gap, but Manx is just lying in wait. It will be a quick pistol round pickup here from ECSTATIC, and that will be a big sigh of relief, something that they can maybe start to feel a little happy about, because maybe, just maybe, they can use it to slingshot back on the right path. But this has not been a game where we have been singing too high the praises of ECSTATIC. They haven't looked as consistent, as clean as some of the forZe individual aim. But they've got a chance now to set the fights on their own terms in much the same way. You know, we saw that some of the shenanigans that Jerry was up to, some of the lurks that Shalfie was able to accomplish. They could as well find themselves cosplaying the same roles. But they'll take this one slow. They don't know what they're up against. Force buy could justify it here if your forZe lose the second round. And you've got this significant lead. You've got rounds to play with. They're thinking big picture. They're thinking long term. It's just USPs, aside from Shalfie Zeus, of course.
Can't forget about that one.
If they go B, they've stacked the right side.
This would be pretty scary. USB shots out from window as well. Oh, there's calls been made for forZe. Oh, Shalfie comes up big, even runs away. Will be found out by Kraken, and the remaining players will also fall. But don't forget, never forget, lightning did strike here.
I'm just surprised he was able to get that kill and just jump away. That's kind of crazy. Usually, if you're gonna pull something like that off, you know, you get the kill and you just jump off the balcony like a normal human, but he ran into the apartments and then jumped through the windows, so...
Like a normal human. This man is harnessing the power of a Greek god.
Yeah.
Does he seem like he's a normal human to you?
I guess not. All standard mid-control nades, quick window smoke from spawn, and a Molotov towards the connector, which will be met with a smoke there as well. No actual bodies being committed by either side towards this middle area. Each giving the respect it deserves. A lot of time ECSTATIC went to contest middle, and they were simply bleeding out in terms of the fights. Those late rounds, forZe really picked up the pieces. Waterfall out of the Palace will be the call once again. There's a player under Balk. Jerry, immediately decapitated, and so will Connector. Krad gets nothing for his efforts. They may have lost the opening duel over at B, but they find 2 quick kills at A and get that bomb planted fast.
That's some really impressive entries coming up from Cabby. He's even able to scale out back over to the CT spawn and try and look for more. Molotov could be trucked in from behind that smoke. Result getting ready to just push through, and he pushes through only to meet his demise.
Yeah, the backbreaker frag.
Very impressive stuff coming out from ECSTATIC on those entries, but you also have to start to wonder as well. A lot of what Jerry was able to do, and what forZe was able to do, rather, in the first map, in the first half, was off of Jerry's clutches, off of his shenanigans and the like. You saw all 4 of them outside of Jerry just starting to rotate back towards that B bomb site the second they get that kill. Things like that are going to end up leading into poor positions where you're going to get caught out and entried more often. That can't become a trend.
Yeah, and I think it was a relatively fresh smoke as well from Krad and the connector, so all of those sort of culminated rotations and timings sort of added up to them not being in a position for anyone to really help or support Jerry in any capacity. No early signs, no early warnings that they were coming out of Palace, but they honed in on Jerry like...
Oh no. Jerry the Bloodhound is already in, combines up with Zorte, and finds the early advantage. 4 versus 3 already, and all mid-control has been gained. They've abandoned B in the meanwhile. Oh my goodness.
It just feels like this happens with Jerry consistently. Even if he has an SMG, he somehow finds his way into a rifle. This wasn't his. You know, this was his teammate behind him.
It's not even like he's sending Zorte first.
Yeah, he went first, but Zorte got punished for his efforts.
Wow. I will die for your sins.
Can't blame Jerry for... You can't say Jerry's not trying to prop his teammates up.
True.
They're just catching bullets, catching strays.
ECSTATIC have actually decided to split up two of their players and go for what looks like it could just be a straight B split. That's a very tough call to actually make over here, but with the smoke and the Molotov down in connector, Jerry's certainly starting to suss it out a little bit. This window smoke's only got a couple more seconds left on it, so they have to be very quick about this as they start to move forward. Shalfie gets the first, reveals himself, and as he now will just be lying in wait, trying to nestle away and keep himself alive, Jerry's rotation will be perfectly timed and perfectly placed. Still, a boost up with the USB, and it reveals itself. Crad good for one before he traded away. Jerry, again, is just such a high-impact performer coming to this one. Man, this is insane.
Yeah, it really is. And as well, a little shout out there to Crad for actually being willing to take that fight from on top of that boost. You know, you could easily justify him trying to play the longer game or guaranteeing a one kill so he could get a weapon. But as soon as he saw his teammates were threatened, pulled the trigger. Didn't hesitate. All things like that can certainly add up. And ECSTATIC, I mean, all their pain that they've suffered through this series has been accumulating. Losing the half buys, getting pushed and defeated by Jerry's SMGs.
Yeah. Jerry's Tech 9, no armor, like equal, effectively. A quad kill in that round, by the way.
It's a lot of Jerry.
Need to remind anyone. Yeah. And when it's not him, it's Result coming in for just a quick triples. Shalfie's even quietly found his way up to 19. Just some great performances coming up from forZe. And ECSTATIC, this is one of their last chances, if not their absolute last chance to try and make something of themselves. Crad and Shalfie have already found two, but Salazar and Quinix have got some guns of their own. Flexing out as they do successfully push back force from mid. Oh. It's all down to Quinix, and he's got the B bomb site locked out. Salazar and Kragan will find an A bomb site that's completely vacated.
Right down on this, and Quinix isn't done, man.
Oh my god.
I'm surprised he even got as far as a third kill. Thought for sure he was a dead man walking. Rotates were coming, and Jerry's caught between two mines because bomb's not gone down despite the fact they have control of the B bomb site, so he's still hovering around A, and that's where the bomb's headed.
Oh my god, he's still got a chance here. He's still got a chance there. Needed to win the duel, and Kragan just takes it on in a one-on-one Quinix. What a round from him, considering the fact that he was on 9 up till now before this. Nice little recovery coming into it.
Yeah, and quick decision as well, not to just overly pursue for the weapons. Sometimes we see players, especially when you're in dire straits, you know, get a couple of kills, there's a bit of a lull in the action, you take that extra time to recover weapons and give yourself a better chance of winning a follow-up duel. Now, Quinix immediately repositioned back to the apartments where he was expecting some sort of pressure.
That's a very blind few players. Cabby will trade. Shalfie. Oh, he's faded back. Remember, the double up secondary is being wielded out by Shalfie. He's got a stable hand for it, but we're gonna have to wait to see how exactly he wants to position this one out. Takes the duel initially down versus Salazar. Salazar spotted out, and if not spotted, then definitely heard with that op shot ringing through. Oh, Crad doesn't realize it. Crad's nearby. Crad overruns him.
Expect Crad will likely try and yoink that if he can get a little bit of respite. Here we go again. 3vx, where ECSTATIC are going to have to try and push the right buttons, find the right gaps. Cabby boosting himself through window and will find nothing for his troubles. Nothing but an AWP to greet him. Result as well with the trade. In spite of Salazar's best efforts, and the quickscope will not connect. Salazar holds true. Or rather, Result holds true over on the B bomb side. Salazar gets nothing. 14-7. This is not what it was chalked up to be. I mean, look at the teams coming into this. They're not far away on the rankings. They're not far away in terms of our, I think, expectations of where these teams would currently sit, especially with, you know, recent move with Salazar to ECSTATIC, recent unknowns for forZe, you know, only quite literally added Crad this year, and still uncertain about who their fifth is going to be and whether Result will be that guy in the long term. So some questions to be answered, but it's hard to say that forZe have skipped many beats here. And
I
I
couldn't agree
think
with
they
you
found
more.
probably more excuses for it as well.
100%.
First they're playing with
Look,
Result,
right
then
now,
they're playing with forZe, then playing with Result again. Who is it, man?
And also, right now, I mean, look at where ECSTATIC's economy is, right? This is where they've just been... There are 1,900 lost points. They feel like they need to force buy. This is just ECSTATIC spiraling and drowning. They need this round if they want to even think, dream about bringing it back. Oh. How does... What? It's a long-range Mac-10 do against an A4 with a grenade in your face. Also puts a lot more risk down on the Shalfie, where he will be able to collect the duel, sure, but now going to be late to the party as the A-bomb site is going to be overrun by T-side. Jerry, the only player who's actually here and may be able to do something. The bomb is planted. Jerry gets a kill, waits for it to actually go down first. He's content with going for the retake as long as they can guarantee the numbers advantage. One that is swiftly taken back. Salazar to trade. Queenix still lies in wait from inside jungle. There's two angles to deal with. They show off the gun barrel of the off, and because of that, he is distracted. Dragon's the last one left alive. No util, no gun. Seemingly no chance, but maybe, just maybe. No, never mind.
That is so unfortunate. You know, you look at his angle, you're thinking anybody comes through that murder hole, is going to live up to his name. He's going to guarantee himself that one kill, but as soon as he hears that step from the bench, it pulls his aim away at the worst possible time.
They even stuck out the roll just a little bit as well from the AWP. It's just in case he didn't buy it the first time.
I mean, they were dangling that piece of meat in front of him, and he fully thought, hey, free meal. That's rough. If there was ever going to be a way back into this game, keeping them away from 15 would have been at least a decent place to start. Now you got to win 8 straight, and with unideal weapons, Galil's upgraded pistols are out, and they'll try and rely on an A-side execute.
One-way smoke setup as well, and that'll be buying out so much more time. Scorpius is out in the open, doesn't get a frag, but sets up for Jerry and Crab to use the chaos in their favor. Fade away as Cabby is still just trying to find a gap. Trying to find a way to push through the smoke. The flashes are good, but the CTs are already retreated back outside of their range of efficacy. forZe are 1 kill away from moving forward, and I don't think Cabby is anything but just a casualty waiting to happen. forZe will win it out 2-0, and convincingly so, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting this series to play out the way that it did, especially with them going into an Anubis, where I thought things might get a little bit interesting, especially given their previous successes from this ECSTATIC roster on the map. It just wasn't to be. I mean, forZe came out, all guns swinging, and we certainly had, I think, an overperformance, maybe not something we were expecting from the in-game leader himself.